Do you see yourself as more of a lichen, a moss, a plant, or a tree in this present season of your life? Hi, my name is Rich Hanlon. I'm your Wild Neighbors Nature Connection nature guide, and I welcome you to Whiteface Mountain in New York's Adirondack Park for this segment of Rock Top Community. Lichens are pioneers of rocky landscapes once void of life like this one, creating opportunity for diverse communities of mosses, plants, and trees. Let's take a closer look. Have you ever had a friend in life with whom you worked really well together? You can think of lichens as a friendship of a number of different kinds of organisms that work really well together. Lichens are made up of fungi, algae, and often a cyanobacteria. These three different organisms work together as friends or in a partnership, and that empowers them to be able to make a living in some very challenging environmental conditions in which most organisms would not stand a chance. And the reason that lichens like these are pioneers of rocky landscapes, creating opportunity in places once void of life, is because they have all that it takes within themselves to create a new layer of soil up here on the mountaintop. Now, lichens, they have a level of acidity in their own lichen bodies that over time will enable them to release tiny particles of even of this hard metamorphic rock, and creating the finest layer of soil beneath them and around them. And also, when there's different small particles that blow through the breeze up here, they can get trapped within and around the body of the lichen. So that's our first stage in rock top community building. Once the lichens have created the finest layer of new soil on these mountaintops, mosses like these join the rock top community building efforts. And the lichens and the mosses together help to create a solid foundation for these rock top communities. And once the solid foundation is created, usually over the course of several decades, then you have diverse communities of plants that will join the rock top community. And once a rock top community, thanks to the rock top community building efforts of lichens, mosses, and plants, once that community has a solid foundation and lots of support, then you start to see trees showing up. Here's a conifer tree emerging from this rock top community. And I wouldn't be surprised if I were to come back to this same spot in 20 to 30 years and see something a little more like this. So now you know how lichens are pioneers of rocky landscapes like this one, once void of life, and how they create opportunity for diverse communities of mosses, plants, and trees. Every community needs their lichens, their mosses, their plants, and their trees, whether you're talking about rock top community or human community. Perhaps you're like the lichen who has caught a vision of community as it could be, and you're willing to take a risk to lead a new community building effort. Maybe you're more like the lichen. Maybe, like the mosses, you are somebody who revels in being able to support a new community building effort that has been initiated by someone else. Or maybe you find yourself resonating with the plants who invest in a new community once it has a good foundation. Or maybe you find yourself resonating with the trees who, because you like to participate in a community once it has a good foundation and lots of support. Well, thank you for joining me on the top of Whiteface Mountain, and I want to encourage you, if you come up here to experience a rock top community like this yourself, be careful to watch your step, because one misstep on top of a rock top community can set that community back 50 to 100 years. So be kind and be considerate of all of our wild neighbors, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.